All right, let's jump right in. Today we're cracking open the new playbook for what's coming next in AI. And believe me, it's a big one, the robot revolution. We're going to follow the smart money to see what it all means for your portfolio and maybe even for your career.
Okay, so let's start with a prediction that is, well, incredibly bold. This quote from Elon Musk really sets the stage for the massive shift we're about to explore. This is all about that moment when artificial intelligence stops being just code and actually gets a physical body.
But hang on, before any robot can even think about picking up a scalpel, we really need to understand the powerful engine that's running in the background. And for the past year, that engine has had one name and one name only: artificial intelligence.
Yeah, when we look back at 2025, AI wasn't just some buzzword, it was the real, fundamental force that was moving the markets. And this wasn't just hype, it was backed by a huge wave of capital investment, and that is always the clearest signal that a real, lasting tech build-out is underway.
And just look at the sheer scale of that investment. We're talking $5 to $8 trillion in AI-related capital spending by 2030, according to the BlackRock Investment Institute. I mean, a number that big tells you something really important. We're not just talking about software anymore. We are talking about building the actual physical infrastructure for a whole new kind of economy.
So that brings us to a very real-world problem, a bottleneck. All of that computing power needs a staggering amount of electricity. And that physical demand for energy, well, it's the perfect bridge from the digital world of AI to our next frontier, the physical world.
So let's follow that thread, right? We're going from an AI that's running in a data center somewhere to an AI that can walk, see, and interact with the world around us. This is where the robotics revolution really kicks off.
The key concept here is something called embodied robotics, or you might hear it called embodied AI. It's pretty simple, really. It's the fusion of artificial intelligence with a physical body, creating machines that can bridge that gap between the digital and physical worlds. And we're already seeing this start to transform everything from manufacturing to healthcare.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. You've got this healthy tension between a super bold vision and the current reality. While a bioethics professor from NYU says Musk's 3-year timeline for robot surgeons just isn't credible, the debate isn't really if this is going to happen, it's when. The direction we're headed is crystal clear, even if the exact ETA is a little fuzzy. And this number just hammers that point home. Forget about fully autonomous robot surgeons for a minute. Just look at this. The FDA has already approved over 700 AI-enabled medical devices since the beginning of 2023. AI is already deeply embedded in how we do diagnostics and radiology, helping human doctors every single day. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here.
So here's the crucial point for any investor. If we accept that this robot-centric economy is really happening, then the most successful investors are going to be the ones who look beyond just the companies building the robots themselves. You have to look deeper.
Think of it like this. It's the classic picks and shovels play for the robot revolution. For every shiny, headline-grabbing robot, there's this huge hidden network making it all possible. You need the utility companies to power everything. You need industrial firms to build the smart factories. And you need private capital to fund all the new, innovative companies. That's the foundation.
And you know that picks and shovels network isn't just happening in one country. It's absolutely essential to think globally here. While U.S. tech stocks got all the headlines in 2025, a truly smart portfolio recognized that some of the best performance and the biggest opportunities were actually outside the United States. Yeah, the data from 2025 is incredibly telling. International stocks had their best year compared to the U.S. in almost 2 decades. That shows just how valuable they are for diversification, especially as places in Europe and Asia become critical links in the robotics supply chain. And then look at gold, a 61% return, its strongest year since 1979. It was a powerful reminder of its timeless role as a safe haven, a stabilizer for a portfolio during times of huge technological change.
Okay, so we've covered the tech with AI, the physical body with robotics, and the financial strategy with infrastructure and diversification. But the final, and honestly the most critical piece of this whole playbook is the one thing that can't be automated: us.
This is such a profound insight. The companies that are really winning with AI aren't the ones trying to replace people. No, they're the ones investing in their people's skills. See, AI is amazing at handling all the repetitive, data-heavy work, which in turn actually makes uniquely human work even more valuable.
And these are the skills that define that value. AI really struggles with empathy, with genuine creativity, with complex ethical calls.
the ability to connect with other people, to solve brand new problems, to think strategically about the big picture. These are the skills that will last, and they become more and more valuable as technology gets better.
And this quote just absolutely nails it. The goal isn't to try to be a faster calculator than a machine. The goal is to lean into the very things that make us human in the first place: our creativity, our empathy, our judgment. That is the true appreciating asset in the age of AI.
So, to bring it all together, the new playbook for this next phase is all about thinking in layers. First, expand your view beyond the obvious tech stocks. Second, invest in that foundational infrastructure. Third, diversify your map across the globe and include assets that give you stability. And finally, and maybe most importantly, bet on humanity. Invest in yourself and in the human skills that technology simply cannot replicate.
Look, this transition is already happening. It's being driven by technological and economic forces that aren't going into reverse. So really, the only question left to ask is your personal and your financial strategy ready for it?